You spent 12 years in school, maybe 16 if you went to college. Thousands of hours sitting in classrooms, learning algebra, memorizing history dates, dissecting frogs. But here's the crazy part. Nobody ever taught you the one skill that would actually determine the quality of your entire life. How to make money, how to keep it, how to grow it, how to use it as a tool for freedom instead of being a slave to it your whole life. And that's not an accident. The system isn't broken. It's designed this way. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why school failed you when it comes to money, and more importantly, what you need to learn right now to actually build wealth. Look, I'm not here to bash teachers. Teachers are incredible. They work hard, they care about students. But the education system itself, it was designed over 100 years ago to create factory workers. People who show up on time, follow instructions, and don't ask too many questions. That worked great in the industrial age, but we're not in the industrial age anymore. The rules have changed, the game has changed, but school is still teaching you the same stuff they taught your grandparents. They're preparing you for a world that doesn't exist anymore. A world where you get one job, work there for 40 years, get a pension, and retire. That world is gone, dead, buried. But nobody told you that. So you graduated, got a job, and now you're wondering why you're stuck, why you're living paycheck to paycheck despite having a degree, why you feel trapped, why you can never seem to get ahead no matter how hard you work. Stick with me for the next 15 minutes because I'm going to break down the 7 biggest lies school told you about money and the real truths that actually create wealth. Lie number 1. Get good grades, get a good job. This is the biggest lie, the foundation of everything else. Study hard, get good grades, get a good job, and you'll be successful. That's what they told you from day one. That's what your parents believe. That's what your teachers reinforced every single day. But here's the problem. A good job doesn't make you wealthy. It makes you comfortable. Maybe, if you're lucky. Let's do the math. Average college graduate makes about $60,000 a year. Sounds decent, right? But after taxes, you're taking home maybe $42,000. That's $3,500 a month. Rent or mortgage, probably $1,500. Car payment, $400. Insurance, $200. Student loans, $300. Groceries, $400. Utilities, $200. We're already at $3,000, and we haven't even talked about gas, phone bills, internet, or actually having a life. You're left with maybe $500 a month if you're lucky. And that's if nothing goes wrong. No medical emergencies, no car repairs, no unexpected expenses. You're one problem away from credit card debt, one layoff away from financial disaster. This is what they sold you as success. But here's what school never taught you. There's a massive difference between earning money and building wealth. Earning money is what you do at a job. You trade your time for dollars. You work 40 hours. You get paid for 40 hours. You don't work, you don't get paid. That's not wealth. That's a hamster wheel. Building wealth is about creating assets, things that make money while you sleep, businesses, investments, skills that scale, intellectual property, systems that generate income without requiring your constant time and attention. Nobody teaches you this in school because the system doesn't want you to know this. The system needs employees. It needs people who clock in and clock out. It needs people who are dependent on their jobs. And here's the really messed up part. The people who actually become wealthy, most of them didn't get there through good grades. Steve Jobs dropped out, Mark Zuckerberg dropped out, Bill Gates dropped out, Richard Branson barely finished high school. Elon Musk has multiple degrees but built his wealth through entrepreneurship, not through being an employee. Now, I'm not saying drop out of school. That's not the point. The point is that grades and jobs are not the path to wealth. They're the path to stability at best. And in today's world, even that stability is questionable. Companies downsize, industries disappear, AI is replacing jobs. The safe path isn't safe anymore. So what's the real lesson? Skills that generate value create wealth, not degrees, not grades, not titles. Skills, the ability to solve problems people will pay for, the ability to create things people want, the ability to build systems that scale. These skills aren't taught in school. You have to seek them out yourself. Lie number 2, debt is bad, always. School teaches you that debt is bad. Your parents probably told you to avoid debt at all costs. Don't borrow money, pay cash for everything. Debt is dangerous. And yeah, consumer debt, that is bad. Credit cards at 22% interest, terrible. Car loans for depreciating assets, awful. Student loans for degrees that don't increase your earning power, disaster. But here's what they don't teach you. There's good debt and bad debt, and wealthy people use good debt to get wealthier. This is one of the biggest secrets of wealth building that school completely ignores. Bad debt is borrowing money to buy things that lose value or don't generate income. A new car loses value the second you drive it off the lot. A vacation on a credit card creates memories but generates $0. Designer clothes, they don't make you money. This is consumption debt. It makes you poorer. Good debt is borrowing money to buy assets that generate income or appreciate in value. Real estate, you can rent it out. The tenant pays your mortgage while you build equity. That's good debt. Business loans, if you borrow $50,000 and use it to build a business that generates $10,000 a month in profit, that loan just made you wealthy. That's good debt. Investing in education that actually increases your earning power, that can be good debt if you choose wisely. Let me give you a real example. Someone buys a house for $300,000. They put down 20%, that's $60,000. They borrow $240,000. They rent out rooms or the whole property for $3,000 a month. The mortgage, taxes, and insurance cost $2,500 a month. They're making $500 a month in cash flow. Plus they're building equity, plus the property is appreciating. In 5 years, they've made $30,000 in cash flow, built $50,000 in equity, and the property appreciated by $60,000, assuming 3% annual appreciation. That's $140,000 in wealth from a $60,000 investment, and they use debt to do it. That's a 233% return. Show me a savings account that does that. But school never teaches you this. They teach you to be afraid of all debt, to pay cash for everything, to save up before you buy. And yeah, that keeps you safe, but it also keeps you poor. Because while you're saving up for years to buy something with cash, wealthy people are using leverage to buy multiple assets, generating income from all of them, and building wealth exponentially faster. The wealthy understand that money has a time value. $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow because you can invest it and let it grow. So they borrow money at 4% interest to invest in assets that return 10, 15, or 20%. That spread is how wealth is built. Now, here's the crucial part. You need to understand how to use debt responsibly. That means only borrowing for assets that generate income. That means understanding interest rates and cash flow. That means having a plan to pay it back. That means never borrowing for consumption. This is financial education, and school doesn't teach it because if everyone understood this, fewer people would be trapped in the employee mindset. Lie number 3, save money. Don't invest it. Put your money in a savings account. Save for a rainy day. Don't risk your money. This is the mantra of school and most parents. Be safe, be conservative, don't lose money. And on the surface, it sounds smart. But it's actually one of the most wealth-destroying pieces of advice you can follow. Here's why. Inflation is quietly destroying your savings every single year. Right now, inflation is running at about 3 to 4% annually. Some years it's higher. Your savings account probably paying you 0.5% interest. You're losing purchasing power every single year. If you have $10,000 in a savings account, in 10 years, it'll still say $10,000, but it'll only buy what $7,000 buys today. You didn't preserve your wealth. You lost 30% of it by playing it safe. But here's what school doesn't teach you. Investing isn't gambling. Real investing is putting your money into assets that historically appreciate over time. The stock market has averaged about 10% annual returns over the past century. Real estate has averaged similar returns. Businesses generate even higher returns if you know what you're doing. Let's run the numbers. You have $10,000. You put it in a savings account at 0.5% interest. In 30 years, you have $11,600. Congratulations, you basically broke even with inflation. You preserved nothing. But if you invested that same $10,000 in an S&P 500 index fund, averaging 10% annually, in 30 years, you have $174,000. Same money, different decision. The difference is $162,000. That's the cost of playing it safe. And if you're consistently adding to it, let's say you invest $500 a month for 30 years at 10% returns. That's $1,033,000 from just $500 a month. That's $15 a day. Less than most people spend on coffee and lunch. But school never taught you this. They never showed you compound interest in a way that actually matters. Here's another thing they don't teach you. Starting early is everything. Because of compound interest, the first 10 years of investing are worth more than the next 20 years combined. If you start investing at 25 versus 35, you'll have twice as much money at retirement. 10 years makes $1 million difference. But school doesn't teach you to start investing the day you get your first paycheck. They teach you to save up first. By the time most people start investing, they've lost the most valuable decade of compound growth. And don't even get me started on retirement accounts. 401k matching is literally free money. If your employer matches up to 5% and you don't contribute, you're rejecting a 100% return on investment. That's insane. But most people in their 20s don't contribute because they need the money now. They don't understand that their 30-year-old self is going to hate their 20-year-old self for that decision. The real lesson here: saving is defense, investing is offense. You need both. But you can't build wealth with defense alone. You need your money working for you, not sitting idle while inflation erodes it. School should teach you about compound interest, asset allocation, index funds, and the power of time in the market. But they don't. Because again, the system needs consumers, not investors. Lie number 4. Money doesn't buy happiness. Money doesn't buy happiness. The best things in life are free. Money isn't everything. You've heard this a million times. Teachers said it, parents said it, society says it, and it's designed to make you feel better about being broke. It's designed to make you accept mediocrity. It's a cope. Let's be honest, here's the truth that nobody wants to admit. Money absolutely does buy happiness up to a certain point, and that point is way higher than people think. Studies show that happiness increases with income up to about $75,000 to $80,000 a year, and then it plateaus. But that's household income, and that data is old. Adjusted for inflation and regional cost of living, that number is probably closer to $100,000 to $150,000 in most cities today. But here's what those studies actually show. Money buys you freedom. Freedom from stress, freedom from worry, freedom to choose, freedom to help people you care about, freedom to pursue things you are passionate about, freedom to say no to things you hate. That freedom, that creates happiness. When you're broke, you can't afford to fix your car, so you stress about it breaking down. You can't afford healthcare, so you ignore problems until they become emergencies. You can't afford quality food, so you eat garbage and feel terrible. You can't afford to take time off, so you burn out. You can't afford to leave a job you hate. You can't afford to pursue opportunities. You're trapped, and being trapped is miserable. But when you have money, your car breaks down. Annoying, but you fix it same day. Health issue? You go to the best doctor. You eat food that makes you feel good. You can take a week off when you need it. You can leave toxic situations. You can invest in yourself. You can help your parents. You can give your kids opportunities. You can pursue projects you care about even if they don't make money right away. This is what money buys, options. And let's talk about what happens beyond that plateau. Yeah, going from $150,000 to $300,000 a year might not double your happiness, but it sure as hell gives you more freedom. You can retire earlier. You can work less. You can take bigger risks. You can create generational wealth. You can make a bigger impact. The people who say money doesn't buy happiness usually fall into two categories: rich people who are trying to seem humble, and broke people who are coping with being broke. But notice that rich people never give their money away to be happier. They keep it because deep down they know money absolutely matters. Here's what school should teach you. Money is a tool. It amplifies who you are. If you're miserable and you get rich, you'll be a rich, miserable person. Money won't fix your internal problems, but if you're a good person with good intentions, money gives you the power to do more good, help more people, and create more freedom. The goal isn't to worship money. The goal is to have enough that money is never the limiting factor in your decisions. Broke people make decisions based on what they can afford. Wealthy people make decisions based on what they want and then figure out how to afford it. That's the difference, and school teaches you to accept your limitations instead of teaching you how to expand them. Lie number 5. Work hard and you'll be rewarded. Hard work pays off. Keep your head down and grind. Your effort will be rewarded. This is maybe the most dangerous lie because it has a kernel of truth in it. Hard work is important. Effort does matter, but hard work alone doesn't create wealth. Smart work does. Strategic work does. Leveraged work does. The hardest working people in America are often the poorest. Construction workers in the summer heat, nurses doing double shifts, restaurant workers on their feet for 12 hours, single parents working 2 jobs. These people work incredibly hard, but they're not getting wealthy. Why? Because they're trading time for money with no leverage. Here's what school doesn't teach you. Wealth comes from leverage. There are 4 types of leverage that create wealth. First, labor leverage. This is using other people's time. When you hire employees or contractors, you multiply your output. You're no longer limited by your own 24 hours. This is how businesses scale. One person can only make so much money, but one person leading a team of 10, they can generate 10 times the output. Second, capital leverage. This is using other people's money, investors, loans, credit lines. When you raise capital for a business or get a mortgage for rental property, you're using capital leverage. You're controlling assets and generating returns with money that isn't yours. This is how real estate investors buy 10 properties when they only have cash for 1. Third, code and media leverage. This is the new form of leverage. Software, content, products that scale infinitely with near zero marginal cost. You create something once and it generates value forever. A YouTube video can be watched by millions. A software product can serve thousands of customers. A book can sell forever. You work once, get paid forever. This is the most powerful form of leverage in the modern world. Fourth, brand and audience leverage. When you build a reputation, a following, or a brand, people pay attention to what you say. This creates opportunities, partnerships, deals, customers, sales. Someone with 100,000 followers can launch a product and make 6 figures in a week. Someone with 0 followers has to grind for every single customer. School teaches you none of this. They teach you to work hard at your job, put in your hours, and hope your boss notices. But your boss isn't trying to make you rich. Your boss is trying to extract maximum value from you for minimum cost. That's not evil, that's just business. The incentives aren't aligned with your wealth creation. Here's a brutal truth. Your salary is determined by how hard you are to replace, not by how hard you work. A CEO who makes decisions that affect billions of dollars, hard to replace. High salary. A cashier who works just as hard? Easy to replace. Low salary. The work ethic is the same. The leverage is different. So what's the real lesson? Work smart. Build leverage. Develop skills that are hard to replace. Create systems that work without you. Build assets that generate passive income. Work on your wealth, not just in a job. This is what creates financial freedom. But school teaches you to be a good employee, not a good wealth builder, because the system needs employees. Lie number 6, specialize in one thing. Pick a major. Choose a career path. Become an expert in one thing. This is the standard advice. Specialize. Go deep. Become the best at one specific thing. And in some contexts, this works. If you're a surgeon or an engineer, specialization makes sense. But for building wealth, it's limiting. Here's why. The most valuable people in the world are polymaths, people who combine skills from different domains. Steve Jobs combined technology with design with marketing. Elon Musk combines physics with engineering with business. They're not the best at any one thing, but they're exceptional at combining multiple things in unique ways. The future belongs to people who can connect dots across disciplines. Someone who understands marketing and code, they can build entire businesses. Someone who understands finance and social media, they can create content that actually makes money. Someone who understands sales and psychology, they become unstoppable at closing deals. But school teaches you to pick one lane and stay in it. They create these arbitrary boxes. You're a math person or an English person. You're creative or analytical. These are false dichotomies. You can be both. You should be both. Here's what wealthy people understand. Skill stack. Each new skill you learn multiplies your value. If you're a decent writer, you're one of millions. If you're a decent marketer, you're one of millions. But if you can write and market and understand analytics and build funnels, now you're one of thousands. Add in sales skills, one of hundreds. Add in the ability to build an audience, one of dozens. Suddenly you're incredibly valuable because you're the intersection of multiple skills. This is called skill stacking. And it's how you make yourself irreplaceable. But school teaches you to specialize early. Pick your major at 18. Commit to a path before you even know what's possible. This limits your potential because you never explore what else you could be good at. The wealthiest people I know have diverse skill sets. They can sell, they can write, they can speak, they understand numbers, they understand people, they understand technology, they understand marketing. They're not masters of all these things, but they're competent enough in each to be dangerous. That combination is what creates opportunities. So the real lesson, be a generalist with specialist knowledge. Learn widely, explore different fields. Develop a T-shaped skill set, deep in one area, broad across many. This makes you adaptable, valuable, and able to see opportunities others miss. But school pushes specialization because it's easier to place specialized workers in specialized jobs. The system doesn't benefit from polymaths. Polymaths usually end up building their own paths. Lie number 7. Retirement is at 65. Work until you're 65, then retire. This is the standard model. Spend 45 years working for someone else, save a little bit along the way, and then finally enjoy your life when you're old. This is what school and society condition you to accept. But it's insane when you think about it. You're trading the best years of your life, your health, your energy, your time with your kids, your adventures, for what? To be comfortable when you're too old to fully enjoy it? You're giving away your 30s, 40s, and 50s so you can relax in your 70s? By which point you might have health issues, less energy, and regrets about all the things you didn't do. Here's what school doesn't teach you. Retirement isn't an age, it's a financial number. You're retired when your assets generate enough passive income to cover your lifestyle without you working. That can happen at 35, at 40, at 50, or never. It depends on how you structure your finances. Let's do the math. If you need $5,000 a month to live comfortably, that's $60,000 a year. Using the 4% rule, you can safely withdraw 4% of your investments annually. You'd need $1,500,000 invested to retire. Sounds like a lot, right? But if you start investing early, live below your means, build businesses and income streams, that number becomes achievable way before 65. But here's the better approach. Don't retire. Build a life you don't need to retire from. This is what wealthy people do. They don't count down the days until they can stop working. They build businesses and careers they actually enjoy. They create flexibility in their lives so they can work when they want, on what they want, with who they want. The goal isn't to stop working at 65. The goal is to have enough money by 35 or 40 that work becomes optional. You do it because you enjoy it, not because you need the paycheck. That's freedom. That's real retirement, having options. School teaches you to delay gratification until you're old. But what if you structured your life to have freedom and experiences while you're young? What if you built multiple income streams so you could take a year off in your 30s to travel? What if you prioritized time freedom over career advancement? This requires a completely different approach to work and money. It means not buying the big house and fancy car in your 20s to impress people. It means investing aggressively early. It means building assets that work for you. It means potentially starting businesses or side hustles. It means thinking long-term about freedom instead of short-term about status. But school doesn't teach you any of this because the system needs you to be a reliable worker for 4 decades. It needs you to consume and stay in debt. It needs you to accept the standard timeline. Because if everyone understood they could be financially free in their 30s or 40s, who would work the jobs that keep the system running? So what should you actually learn about money? Here's the real curriculum that school should teach but doesn't. First, understand cash flow. Income minus expenses equals cash flow. Positive cash flow is good. Negative cash flow is bad. This sounds simple, but most people live in negative cash flow their entire lives. They spend more than they make and use credit cards to fill the gap. Learn to live below your means and invest the difference. Second, understand assets versus liabilities. Assets put money in your pocket. Liabilities take money out. Your house, if you live in it, it's a liability. It costs you money every month. If you rent it out, now it's an asset. Your car, always a liability. A business, asset. Stocks, asset. Designer clothes, liability. Learn to buy assets and avoid liabilities. Third, understand the power of compound interest. Einstein allegedly called it the 8th wonder of the world. Time is your biggest advantage when you're young. Start investing immediately, even if it's small amounts. The difference between starting at 25 versus 35 is massive. Don't waste that decade. Fourth, learn how taxes work. The wealthy pay less in taxes than the middle class as a percentage of income. Why? Because they understand the tax code. They use businesses, real estate depreciation, retirement accounts, and legal strategies to minimize taxes. This isn't cheating, it's financial literacy. Every dollar you save in taxes is a dollar you can invest. Fifth, develop high-income skills. Sales, copywriting, marketing, coding, video editing, design. Skills that can generate significant income regardless of where you work or who you work for. These skills give you leverage and options. They're worth more than most college degrees. Sixth, understand different business models. E-commerce, service business, SaaS, content creation, coaching, agency work. Each has different margins, scalability, and time requirements. Seventh, build financial discipline. Automate your savings. Pay yourself first. Track your spending. Set money goals. Review your finances monthly. These habits are worth more than any get-rich-quick scheme. Wealth is built through consistency, not lottery tickets. Look, school isn't completely useless. You learn to read, write, think critically. Those are valuable. But when it comes to money, school failed you. It prepared you to be an employee in a system that keeps you dependent. It taught you to value safety over freedom, credentials over skills, and conformity over entrepreneurship. But here's the good news. You can educate yourself. Everything I just talked about, you can learn it. There are books, courses, videos, mentors. The information is out there. The question is, are you going to seek it out, or are you going to keep following the script that school gave you? The script that says, get a job, work 40 years, save a little, retire old. That script leads to mediocrity at best. If you want something different, you need to learn different things. You need to understand how money actually works, how wealth is really built, how successful people actually think about finances. This isn't taught in school because if everyone knew this stuff, the system wouldn't work. It needs workers, it needs consumers, it needs people who don't ask questions. But you're watching this video, which means you're already asking questions. You're already seeking knowledge beyond what school gave you. That's the first step. So here's what you do next. Pick one area we talked about today and dive deep. Maybe it's learning about investing. Maybe it's developing a high-income skill. Maybe it's understanding business models. Pick one thing and spend the next 30 days learning everything you can about it. Then implement it. Then move to the next thing. Wealth is built through education and action, not the education school gave you, the education you seek out yourself, the stuff that actually matters. If this video opened your eyes to what you weren't taught, drop a comment below and let me know which lie hit you hardest. And if you want more content breaking down real financial education, let me know and I'll make more videos like this. Your financial future isn't determined by what school taught you. It's determined by what you teach yourself. Start learning. Start today. I'll see you in the next one.